Hey everybody, but you came out here tonight to hear about some cool AI stuff. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah.
Here we go. But guess what? Unlocking the next level of AI is not really about smarter apps. It's more about smarter infrastructure. Companies like Model, Rampart, and Anyscale have already lined up in this rush. The question is, how can these companies serve a compute demand projected to double by 2030 if they mainly rely on the finite infrastructure of the cloud? Well, my name is Fabio, and I'm the founder of ByteNight. At ByteNight, we offer a platform that brings together the scale of crowdsourced computing with the accessibility of a serverless configuration so that companies building in AI, big data, media processing can finally utilize extensive, untapped computing power without worrying about managing it. And we help those companies go from zero to functional with no delays and to unlock those time and money savings that they can reinvest in their vision. With a product set to launch by year end, and a team deeply connected with the struggles in this industry, this vision is set to become a reality. So now let me show you how.
Meet Ankit. Ankit's startup needs to deploy and run containers at scale for their generative AI application. He's tried several services, but none are working. Setting up a Kubernetes cluster is too long and tiring, so Ankit goes serverless. On this new service, he has to wait 30 seconds for resources to start, and on another, his workloads get cut off too soon. Frustrated, Ankit doesn't know where to turn. Meanwhile, his peers have been using ByteNight to stay ahead. ByteNight combines the power of containers with the benefits of serverless without the limitations of either. The SDK lets you deploy workloads anywhere with zero infrastructure setup and flexible configurations. Always-on machine pools offer instant resource availability and let you boost the job speed with distributed computing. ByteNight's pricing model undercuts cloud rates by up to 50% and never charges you during idle times. Whether you run event-driven services or deploy containerized jobs, don't be like Ankit. Go beyond the clouds and choose ByteNight.
Okay, so cloud computing can be a mess, and it's just getting harder with AI in the mix. But at the same time, like, what makes you think that you can compete with AWS?
Okay, starting off with a hard question, of course. So first of all, I'd say the ease of configuration. Companies today need to build and test application at scale, and they need to do that faster to stay ahead of competition. Platforms like AWS have services scattered across a very wide ecosystem, which makes them very hard to understand, operate, and integrate. By contrast, at ByteNight, what we do is we focus on developer experience, and the documentation is actually a core part of our product. So we want to deliver a top-notch serverless containers product. So that's the one thing. And then if you look at from the provisioning model, we know the hyperscalers use their own hardware, right? At ByteNight, we simply don't. We partner with device owners in a crowdsourced model, so we can always tap into the best price in the market and reflect those prices on our customers. So basically, we don't tie our growth to our capital expenditures.
It all makes sense, but like you're telling me that you're going to crowdsource computing and you're going to run my app or my software in someone else's machine. Like, is there a privacy problem or a security problem?
Yeah, there's more to that. We let our customers choose what providers they want to work with, right? So by default, we assign you to a general tier, which lets you take advantage of our full network, our pricing savings, and all the capabilities. But if you wish to work with a specific provider, or if you even want to work with your own machines, we can make that happen. And that's because our software, our client software for workers, is completely flexible and can be installed on any machine.
Okay, so like my next question is along the same lines of the first one. Why would somebody still want to switch from AWS to your platform? Not afraid of vendor lock-in, or like
I see you like that point. First of all, companies don't have to switch from AWS or any other hyperscalers to us. We're still friends with cloud. We offer a complimentary service for serverless containers, so they can keep everything else on their own cloud provider of choice. So that's one thing. And then how we are better. Basically, I've been living here for a few years. I've met hundreds of developers in the Bay that are using AWS or similar services, and the same pain points are coming up over and over. And at Byte9, we are deeply committed to solve each single one of them. And I'm talking about performance and latency issues like cold starts. We're bringing those cold starts down to 0. I'm talking about rates. We're slashing the rates because we don't think customers should pay for simplicity. Do you? So that's one thing. And then in general, we're closer to companies because we help them get their solutions faster. Okay.
Oh, got you.
Thank you. We help them get to their solutions faster, basically that's the third thing.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Like, that sounds like a pretty complex product. When I saw you guys on the portfolio, I was like, okay, that's going to be hard to build. So what have you guys built so far? What's ready? What's working?
Sure. Yeah, we have a patented backend system that is ready. That's responsible for all the load balancing and all the computations that are happening on Byte9 on top of making them more efficient and faster. Second, we have a suite of APIs that enables our customers to set up and trigger jobs and functions. And now what we are about to deliver, and we're testing it, is a tool that allows developers to bring in their applications and actually plug in workloads on Byte9. So we're very excited to release it to a bunch of beta users by the year's end.
Awesome. So what's my last question is what's your ask for the audience today?
Sure. So I would love to talk to companies who are in the struggle of, figuring out where to run their intensive workloads and are gauging performance and cost considerations and are maybe also running out of cloud credits. And I would love to start talking to investors in the cloud infra and dev tool space as well. So if you're interested, come talk to me. I would love to show you the power of Byte9.
Awesome.